that. I mean, Bill Belichick has a great mind for football. I don't know how that translates to politics or in the Senate. He's obviously like one of the greatest coaches of all time, but unless he's a politician in, I don't know, behind our backs.
Yeah, like I don't know if like identifying someone's like 40-yard dash translates to like negotiating stimulus bills and relief and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't translate football into politics.
Yeah, it's very most likely not going to happen. But like, let's see the logic. It's very unlikely that Warren's even going to leave the Senate anyway. But Coach Belichick comes to mind as a worthy replacement because he is one of the few well-known public figures to urge the U.S. to act increasingly against dictatorial Turkey as well as Azerbaijan for their recent attack on Armenia. So, like, since when was Bill dropping foreign policy takes at his press availability? like what? I have to look this up. Like, hold on, because like the best the best thing he's on to is wow. He is the notorious for not saying literally anything ever at any time. He has really. I remember when he used to say, well, "We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to this team. We're on to that team." And he had this to say when he was asked about the comments came as he was asked about how acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller recently quoted his mantra, "Do your job," in a letter to Defense Department employees. He then tried his hand a little global strategic thinking. I just say, while we're on the subject, I read his point about combating traditional threats. So, like, do you think he's out there, like, reading policy papers? Like, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I think he just had a opinion about something that he wanted to share. I mean, I love players and coaches taking their positions to speak on social justice or whatever the case may be, but I don't know about being elected to the Senate. That just sounds like a bit of a stretch.
I think he has some like relationship to Armenians. Apparently the director of football head coach administration is Armenian, kind of Belichick's right hand man, Burj Najarian. So that's cool. He's like sticking up for his guy there. The subject may seem esoteric to some, but Bill Belichick's got it. Like, I honestly, in terms of a mind for detail, I mean, I guess you could say he would be one of those guys, but that is kind of the interesting opinion that we have from people like Peter, but it doesn't seem like he could handle probably one day with some of the smartest people in government that we have in the Senate there. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. He is an MVP award winner. He is regularly an All-Star 9 times in 12 seasons and will almost assuredly be a first-ballot Hall of Famer when his career ends. He's led the league in scoring twice and once scored 43 points in an NBA Finals game. He turned 32 last month, and if all goes well, he should have several All-Star seasons left in him. So, why was he traded this week from Houston for John Wall and a draft pick, about to be in his third team in 3 years? Why do you think? Let's hear your opinion.
Well, I think Russell Westbrook didn't want to be in Houston anymore. And they got a good player in John Wall, just coming off a catastrophic injury. He was out for at least 2 years with the bubble and everything. But the Wizards definitely improved their chances. They went from a bottom tier to a team that won't make it past the second round, but they're still pretty good with Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. That combination could be pretty deadly. But
yeah, I mean, because we all know, what is the farthest a solo Russell Westbrook team has ever gone?
Probably. Did they get eliminated in the first round? I don't know. Not very far. But with Bradley Beal, things could change, hypothetically. But
I think it was like the year he had the face mask and like he scored a triple-double every single game or something like that. Crazy.
After Kevin Durant left him for Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook has proved to be remarkably durable, but I mean, I don't know. Like, would Houston? I don't know if Houston's gonna get. I don't know if John Wall gets around anywhere really well anymore. But
yeah, I mean, he is pretty fast, and they have a similar play style. But Russell Westbrook is just a dog. He's a different breed, and I don't know. John Wall doesn't fit into the system in Houston as well as Russell Westbrook did. Not to say that Russell Westbrook fit that much either, but I don't know. In Houston, I think they got a little bit worse.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, such a talent, but that's the question. He just the stats that he has put up just seem to be like he should be in such a better position, and so many people with worse stats than him have been in better positions. Critics contend that the scheme that coach Billy Donovan back in 2018 and 2019 and 2016 was calling for him, which called for Westbrook's teammates to give up rebounds for Westbrook, inflated Westbrook's numbers, and he was being a stat patter. So do those critics, do they have a point?
I think in some cases they do, but like to get average a triple-double, that it's still crazy, no matter if you're stat padding or not. That's just something that not everyone can do. And he's got to be one of the leading all-time triple-double makers. Or
yeah,
leaders.
So, yeah, definitely, I would say. Yeah, so the teams, actually, their record when Westbrook got a triple-double was a 785, 800, 676, 625 win percentage throughout 2016 through 2020. In the 2016 and 2017 seasons, yeah, so that's kind of how that all happened. He's also hounded by his critics for his inefficiency as a scorer. He's terrible outside shooter for a guard with a career mark from three-point range. It's 30.5%. In his low season with Houston, he shot 25.8%. In today's pace and space NBA, not being a passable shooter can be a bit of a hindrance to offenses. And, I mean, if he's the kind of front and center man on that Wizards team, that could be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but Bradley Beal he doesn't have to dribble to create his shots as much as Russell Westbrook did, and Bradley Beal is a marksman. He is a good shooter. So I think that could work out in Russell Westbrook's favor. But John Wall, I think, is a little bit better from a three-point range and a little bit better of a shooter than Russell Westbrook is. So we can see how Russell Westbrook and John Wall might have gotten into a better position.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, Westbrook needs a lot of shots to score the points he does. His true shooting percentage, a measure of efficiency that takes into account three-pointers and free throws, has been below average for most of his career at 53%. Well, the league average last year was 56.5%. But there also appears to be a bit of a gap between how traditional numbers and some more advanced statistics kind of view Westbrook. He's kind of, in terms of actual statistics developed to kind of help the team, it's not quite the way he has. So Bradley Beal, I think, is a bit underrated. He finished second in the NBA in points per game last season. So
yeah, I don't think he made the All-Star team last year.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think he should have. Him and Devin Booker are people to watch, especially with new stars on their team. Chris Paul went to the Phoenix Suns to play with Devin Booker, and that could take some of the offensive load off Devin Booker, or the defense off of Devin Booker, because he's really their main offensive weapon.
So, yeah, and that kind of leaves us here with the final question. What is going to happen in Washington? Where do we see this team going? Will we be surprised? Because I think, I don't know, like the time I'd say where Westbrook had probably been the most successful was with Durant and Harden, like very early on, right? But
yeah,
That would be interesting, and I think there's also a lot of hidden battles, hidden wills going on, and definitely the Wizards could be a team to watch if they can get the efficient scorer Bradley Beal and the statistical anomaly Russell Westbrook together.
Yeah, I think they could be around the Nuggets level. The Denver Nuggets. I don't know if they're better than them, but it would be a good game to see those two teams go at it. They both have their fair share of stars and people to look out for. And although they might not be as young as the Nuggets, they are a very capable team. Like I said, I don't think they're making it past the second round, but they're a team to look out for.
All right. With that note, I think that is about all the time we have for today. Carter, thank you so much for joining us, keeping it a little bit short today to make up for last time's really long episode. Bennett will see if he can join us again next week. Thank you so much for listening.